This is the third section on chapter 3 on representations of data, and this section is on cumulative frequency. Now, you've done cumulative frequency at GCSE, so I'm not going to go through how to draw it here. You could always look at one of my GCSE videos. But a cumulative frequency graph is a useful way of estimating the quartiles from data. In other words, estimating the upper quartile, lower quartile, and the median from a cumulative frequency, because we can just read it off from the graph. Example 4. The table shows the heights in meters of 80 giraffes. Part A, draw a cumulative frequency diagram. So part A is going to go here on that grid. So to draw a cumulative frequency diagram, I need the cumulative frequency. So I'm going to use a running total to work those out. So the first cumulative frequency is 4, plus 7 is 11, plus 15 is 26, plus 33 is 59, plus 17 is 76, plus 4 is 80. Now we need to check that this value here matches up with the total. It does, so we know we've probably added them together, right? Next thing is to add in my axes and values here on this graph paper. So here's my axis done, up to 80 on the cumulative frequency, and I've got enough space there to go up in my height. So now I plot this first value with a cumulative frequency of 0, and then plot all of these other values here against the upper value of the cumulative frequency. So these are my points plotted here. Next thing is to try and draw a smooth curve through those points. Right, so there's my attempt at my curve here. So we're ready to go on to part B. And part B says estimate the median heights of the giraffes. Now to do that, we need to go up to half of the cumulative frequency, and we're going to read off this value here. Now remember, it's an estimate, so it looks like I've got something like 5.1, 5.2, I would say 5.25. So 5.25 meters. Then moving on to part C, estimate the lower quartile and the 90th percentile. So Q1 first and then P90 afterwards. Now Q1 is going to be a quarter of the way up, a quarter of 80. So that's 20. So let's read that off there and go down. So on my graph, that's about 5.15 meters. Now P90, well, we need to work out the position of that. So the calculation we need to do is going to be 90 over 100 times by 80. Now that's 72. So we're going to go up to 72 and read off from that value. So 72 is here, and we'll read that off. So it looks like it's going halfway between these boxes here. In the exam, you'll be given a range of values to read off for your answers. So 5.1, 5.2, 5.3, 5.4, 5.5. So I would say 5.55 on my graph here. So P90, 5.55 meters. Then on part D, we're going to draw a box plot to represent this data. So we've already got the lower quartile, we've got the median. So now we need the upper quartile, 3/4 of 80, which is 60. So that gives me a value of about 5.1, 5.2, 5.3, 5.4. So I've got Q3 as 5.4 meters. Okay, so here's my scale ready for me to put the values on. So the lowest value is the first value in the table, which is 4.6. So we will put a line here. Then we have our lower quartile. I've got as 5.15. So that will be a value that I put here, 5.15. Then my median was here. That was 5.25. So 5.25 is going to go here, like that. Then my upper quartile, Q3, I worked out as 5.4. So that goes here. And then the largest value I've got is this one here, is 5.8. So 5.5, 5.6, 5.7, 5.8 is going to go here. Okay, and we just join them up. There's no mention of outliers or anything like that on this question. So this would be my box plot against this grid on this question. So you should now be able to complete exercise 3C on pages 47 to 48 of the textbook.